Well, an extra 10 rand here, another 50 rand there. All of these little increases add up. And the fact is that these past 2 years have been treacherous on our pockets. It's become increasingly difficult for the average South African to get by. The pandemic has reminded us all about the importance of earning a living. But now that we're getting vaccinated and the economy is opening up, can we rebuild what was lost? Many South Africans are now drowning in debt. So are the political parties looking for our votes in these elections, creating an environment conducive to building a better future? And how are ordinary South Africans managing to survive? This is our focus this morning. Let's cross to our reporter, Dasen Thathiah in Durban for more. Dasen, good morning to you from Durban. The average Durbanite that you're speaking to, what are their major complaints in terms of just managing that budget every month?
Well, Annika, some of the conversations we've been having are showing that residents in Durban are struggling just like residents in other parts of the country with the increased cost for electricity, the water tariffs, and all obviously fuel. That's just making people suffer even more at a time when there've been people that have already endured job losses. Some have taken pay cuts. So all in all, they feel like they're sinking. That's a general sentiment just in some of the conversations we've had. But some have had it worse than others. And I'm going to bring into a conversation now Prissy Mkhize, who in 2019 lost her job, her car, and was evicted from her flat with her mother and her kids. Let me just bring her into the conversation now. Prissy, thank you so much for joining me and sharing this horrible story with us. Fortunately, before I get to this, I know that things are starting to look up slightly, but how did you get here? What went wrong in 2019?
Everything went downhill from the time I was retrenched due to COVID. So the company was obviously taking strain, and I had to let go of quite a few of us within the company.
What did that mean for you and your 3 kids and your mom?
Well, as a sole provider, it really, really hit me hard because I was the only one bringing in an income. As a single parent and the father's not involved in their lives, we literally got to a point where we lost everything that we had accumulated.
And that's just the one side of it. I mean, the impact of COVID, but then there are also these other increasing costs, the electricity, the rates and taxes. What did that do to you when you were in a position where you already felt like you couldn't breathe?
It brought a hell of a lot of stress. I'm not going to lie, because there's certain bills that I had to pay halfway, and it really, really, really brought in a lot of stress.
Prissy, you were also saying to me that at some point you ended up on the street and you were later living at a church. Just take me through some of that, please.
So after my eviction, as most people know, when you really go through a tough time, no one's around. But luckily enough, through the ministry that I do minister under, which is God Never Fails, under Bishop Ndintlapo, he was the one that took me in. We stayed at the church. He thereafter put us in an apartment at his cost and looked after me and the children. But I'm grateful to God that at least for now, I've just found something temporary. But it was only through the grace of my church.
And fortunately, there has been a light at the end of the tunnel. Just talk to me about where you find yourself now as you start to come out of this bad patch.
I'm very grateful, although it might be a tempting position that I'm getting right now, but it will make my life and stress better. We will have food to put on the table, and I will at least have a roof for now. Although bills-wise and debt-wise, there's a very long way for me to go, but I still believe that, it will get better. I will still continue to job hunt and have hope that other businesses will still employ, although it is quite a tough time right now.
Prissy, I want to leave you with this question as we approach the local government elections. There are certain expectations of the people that we elect, particularly our ward councillors, and you generally want them to fight for us. What is it that you would be expecting yours to be doing at this time, as so many people are already struggling with these exorbitant bills, some of them coming from the municipalities?
Gosh, that's a tough one, because I've completely lost faith. Our leadership has failed us tremendously. I don't even find myself knowing as to who to go with right now, but I'm just hoping that we, as a country, as a city, we will come together and choose the right leader to help us through this season, because yes, in terms of the bills, water, electricity, which are essentials that we definitely need, we need a lot of help around that. Especially finding that the increase of single parent families are increasing day by day. We need the government to really step up with whatever they can help with. Job creation, helping us at least, with the demand of pricing going up and everything, electricity, water, petrol. We need government to seriously step up and help us and speak up.
Thank you very much for your time, Pretty and Peace. Annika, Pretty sharing quite a horrible story with us, but as I mentioned, fortunately things are starting to look up for her, and she has managed to secure a job just this month. Although temporarily, it is a start and helps her take her family into the right direction.
What a fabulous interview, Dasen, because it shows you that the line between being indigent and financially stable is very, very fine. Let's go to Cape Town now, where we've got Aisha Ismail, who's standing by for us, asking her a similar question. How is the ordinary Cape Townian managing to juggle that budget, Aisha, in these very trying times?
Good morning, Annika. The people that I've spoken to here in the Mitchells Plain Town Centre have all said to me that it's been so difficult for them to make ends meet. They're saying they can hardly keep their heads above water. They're struggling to keep the lights on. But I'm now joined by the chairperson of the Town Centre Hawkers Association, Mrs. Baker, Coulson Baker. You were telling me earlier that it's really, really difficult since COVID to make ends meet. What are the experiences here in the town centre with the people here?
The experience, we're experiencing the prices of the lights that they are charging us. We are in small kiosks here. We are not big retail traders. We are only small traders. But our electricity is sky high. My electricity for the month works out to 3,000 Rand a month. And if I buy a 50 Rand electricity, I get 10 units for 50 Rand. And they're charging us the same price for our electricity as what the big shops Pick and Pay and those, they're charging us the same price. And besides that, due to the COVID, we have lost a lot of our people here in the town centre. A lot of them have lost their businesses here because there's no money here. And those that are here are surviving only on the little bits that they are earning, not even enough to buy electric or food for the house, because the food prices are sky high here. And it seems to us that the government has forgotten about us here. There's a lack of service delivery here. We have to pay for our house. They demanded that we have to pay for our little stands that we've got. People haven't even got money to pay. They are running in arrears of thousands of rands here. And I don't know what is city going to do about it. But we actually suffering so much here. We are at the moment, we are about 500 legal traders in the town centre. And out of that 500, we've got over 1,000 illegal trading going on here. We have taken a march to the city with where we handed in a memorandum, and nothing has been done. And it's just getting worse and worse. Robberies are taking place here every single day. The drugs is escalating higher in the town centre. Nothing is being done. And I feel so frustrated when I talk about these things, because it's actually where I come from. I'm 40 years in this town centre now. 40 years I've been trading in this town centre. And ever since the city have moved us out of our places that we were originally standing, we can hardly survive here. We cannot survive, because business has gone right down here. Business has gone right down due to the fact that a lot of people are unemployed. A lot of people are unemployed. People are begging. You are hardly making it to earn a living for the day, to buy electricity. Then you still have to feed the poor also that come and knock at your door.
Ma'am, can I ask you, how do you think, how can this situation be remedied? How can we fix what's happening to the people here in Mitchell's Plain?
You see, what worries me is I've just been to the shop now. The prices of the stuff that is so high, I don't see how the shop owners can even do that to us. They are still working on that high profit budget they are working on without thinking of those people that are unemployed or due to COVID. We have lost so many people in this town centre already due to COVID, and nothing is being done for us. City is not even, there's not even a stipend for the traders out there that have lost their businesses. A lot of us have lost our business because we couldn't survive, we couldn't make it, because we haven't even got money to buy that stock to survive here.
Thank you so much for your time. Annika, that was Kulsum Baker, the chairperson of the Traders Association, or the Hawkers Association here in the town centre. And as you heard Mrs. Baker saying, it's already difficult for them as traders to survive, and with the little money that they make, they still have to go and feed the poor as well.
Thanks, Aisha. Familiar story there, and also undignified to see a lady like that who's worked so hard having to be so at the mercy of other people despite all those hours and years of hard work, when she should really be resting now. So a familiar story, Taps. And you know, as I was saying earlier, there's such a fine line. People I know who were financially stable enough, and they lost their jobs, and everything just had a domino effect. They then lost their house, they lost their car, they started taking microloans, they then got into a debt pattern. It's quite a scary situation when you have that one rug pulled out from underneath you.
And I think people were barely surviving even before COVID, and so you were making an income but maybe didn't have enough to save. You didn't have enough disposable income, and when COVID hit, things really just got worse. It's good that we're focusing on that today, and we'll be on that for the rest of the morning.